Hello? How's everybody doing? Haley Servant. Welcome in. I found us a water bear. Did a little bit of scouting before the stream started and found this one for us. I like to start off in dark field and switch over to DIC so we could actually see it in a little bit better resolution. But dark field kind of gives just a different sort of view, though. Background's all dark and the lighting is oblique. Mommy, it's a water bear. Tardigrade. Is in the wild, it also just jiggles randomly. Yes. This is how they get about. Crawl around with little hooks on the ends of their legs and like little clawed feet. Normally they use their little back legs to grab on to stuff and hold it, and then they crawl around on the surface with their middle 6 legs or front 6 legs. Hey Alpha Bayo, how's it going? Pretty cute. Sort of a mix between a caterpillar and a bear, I guess. More of these guys, yes. Can you find it in lakes? I haven't, but I think you can. I know people have found them in lakes. To date, I haven't seen any in lakes, but they keep looking. It's finally managed to grab onto something, so you can see it kind of get around a bit better. Unfortunately, it's going to climb right behind this piece of lichen. It's a sample from a sort of branch that fell off of a tree into my yard. And my daughter collects them occasionally because she knows that we can find water bears on them. And then, so I have to sample it and stream it, or else she'll just get more sticks and they'll pile up somewhere. So it's a kind of a regular ritual. She'll go out in the yard and find one, and then can it be from any tree? Yeah, pretty much. As long as there's some lichen growing on the tree branch. It does better if there's sort of older trees, but I think it could be basically any tree. How's it going, Whiskery? Hey, Tiny Dragon on Fire, hello. What are you doing? Tiny Dragon on Fire is an artist. Streams on Twitch. You can check out their digital comic book art, right? Mostly? Got off work. Glad to catch one of my streams again. Oh, thank you. I did a little streaming earlier from my yard, looking at birds, and actually there was a dragonfly we focused on a little bit, so sort of a photography stream. And so that was nice, very relaxing. At least this time it's on the top of the lichen. So, let's see, who was asking those questions? Was that Haley's servant? Yeah. So, it's just a bit of a tree branch, and I just scraped it, the surface of the lichen off into a little bowl and put some water in it. And, kind of hanging out right in the dark area here. Big piece of lichen. And then waited about 10 minutes and then sort of looked around in the sample. And here you go. Water bear. Some rotifers and nematode worms and the regular cast of characters. But I also grabbed a sample from my koi pond in the back. So if I get bored, people get bored with looking at water bears and rotifers, we could look at some more rotifers, I guess. Yeah, the bird streams are fun. Sometimes I do, or just really they're just photography streams, and then I have a microphone out in the yard so people can listen to the bird sounds. What objective are we looking at this in? This is the 10x objective. Hey, Anarchy. There you go. How you doing? We're looking through some water bear lichen samples. Doing good? Excellent. I'm glad you finally got back into streaming a little bit. I don't know where this thing went, but maybe this is a good time to switch over to DAC since it's sort of hiding. Getting that down. Camera do a little adjustment. Now we're using some direct lighting method called differential interference contrast. Just need to make adjustments to the camera and the microscope and everything else to sort of get it looking good. And maybe the water bear will poke its head back out from behind this piece of lichen it's crawling around on. And we can see what she's up to. Yeah, it's a little piece of lichen from, actually this giant branch fell into my yard. And my daughter ran out and picked it up, dragged it into the porch, and wanted me to see if there were any water bears in it, so here we are. I think she went to bed, but, hey Commander Shafard. How are you? Oh, pun time, is it? Is this a water sample or from dry? It started off dry, and just as like a solid stick, and then I just took a knife and I scraped the lichen off, and actually kind of rolled it up in my fingers for a while to break it into smaller pieces, and then I added Pure water, which is just, or you could use DI water or I don't know, any kind of water that's not from your tap that has chlorine, and then just wait a couple of minutes and the desiccated stuff should come back to active states. So, oh, if this water bear still here, or did it go someplace and we missed it leaving? You can't get very far very fast, so one of the good things about them. Kinda easy to track down once you find one. You know, that piece of lichen here is only so big, so it's gotta come out from the other side sooner or later. Some minutes are enough. Yes, Haley's servant. I think maybe I put the sample on a slide. I looked through one slide and didn't find anything except for some rotifers. So I dumped it back into the little sample bowl and I pulled out another bit of material. And I think maybe it was 5 minutes total, or maybe 10 minutes at most from the time I added the water. You'll probably find the longer you wait, the more things will kind of come back from, you know, desiccated states. So like if I made another sample, we probably would see even more, and we'd also see a bunch of nematodes that are basically rehydrating, and probably some rotifers that are rehydrating as well. kind of have this spot marked. And since the water bear is kind of hiding, we can... Hey, Joe. How's it going? We were looking at a water bear and it went behind this piece of lichen and it's just been camped out on the other side of it, so... I was gonna wait for it to reappear, but... It's taking its time, so maybe we'll go look around a bit and come back. This little piece of lichen it's hiding behind is like, I don't know, shaped a bit like France, maybe? Backwards France? So, we'll be able to find it again. See if it comes out from behind here eventually. Maybe she found something good to eat back there. I want to interrupt her meal. Probably been desiccated for, you know, at least a week or two. For when my daughter found that stick. But this little star-shaped thing is kind of the shape of a water bear egg for some of the eggs. I don't know if it's actually what that is. The pretty normal pattern is that they lay some eggs in this stuff and then when conditions get good, they... Some of them are kind of star-shaped, though. I've had some samples where I prepped it and then I thought, oh, there's nothing in that one, and then I came back to it a little bit later and there was stuff crawling around. So, like, see this thing right here? Sort of peach-colored thing right there. It's some sort of desiccated organism. And probably a rotifer. You know, if it's gonna rehydrate and come back, it might take a while. But that's what they look like. They were like rolled up in little balls. Water bears and rotifers and basically all the little things in here kind of have that shape. That's a little bit of contamination right there. That's a green algae from my koi pond. Looking at a sample from my koi pond before I looked at this. It's a little rotifer. Right now, just sort of scouting around. I was crawling. They kind of walk like an inchworm. They have one leg, one foot. Which you can see the back has 3 little claws or toes. Yeah, it's alive. Now I'm playing professional Etch-a-Sketch. Try to keep up with it. They find that there's... They're touching things, but sometimes they'll find that they're happy with the, you know, potential food in the water, and then they'll turn on their cilia and pull them out of their head. Kind of waiting for it to do that. This is a Deloid rotifer. It is female. If you've been to the stream before, you know that, and you know why, which is that all the Deloid rotifers are female. They don't make males. They haven't had a male Deloid rotifer. For some species, it's been 10 million years, but for some species, it's been 75 million years. No male Deltoid rotifers. They just reproduce asexually. Pretty long time. Just the ladies. I don't know if they've found the males in fossils or if they know that from genetic evidence. Or what the actual reason for that is. I don't actually study rotifers, but I was doing some educational streaming, and we looked into different kinds of organisms, and one of the ones that I focused on was rotifers, because the deltoid rotifers are actually really super interesting. People know about like water bears being very resistant to harsh environments, but the deltoid rotifers are also capable of withstanding basically all the same things. And in fact, they're better at withstanding ionizing radiation, like space radiation, than water bears are. These are some of the most resistant organisms on the planet to ionizing radiation. And, people know that water bears can get dehydrated and come back, but the deltoid rotifers have a longer record of doing this. And in fact, recently, I think it was just a couple of weeks ago, there was a paper talking about deltoid rotifers that they brought back from desiccation from 25,000 years ago. Came back with no big deal. Yeah, so it's like a it's kind of like a sack. It's got segments and it can kind of they're very flexible in a lot of ways. So you haven't actually seen, they have their mouth is right out at the end of that, the head. You can see it pulls its head in like a little turtle. But when it starts to feed, what it does is it pulls out these features called corona. I'm waiting for it to do that, because usually when they attach and then they start pulling their head in, they'll flip out their corona and start spinning these little cilia, which will move the water into their mouth. And they're also sensitive, like really sensitive to the vibrations. So when I touch the desk and it wiggles the slide a little bit, they'll retract and stop. Sometimes they'll stop feeding even. So the vibrations are disturbing to them. So I'm kind of hoping it will pull out its really close to pulling out its corona and starting to spin them. So hoping it does that for us. Yeah, I can scare it a little bit by bumping the stage or sometimes moving the stage. They're sensitive to those vibrations, so. And the stage always has just a little bit of vibration associated with it, so. They fold out their coronas, actually, probably the most impressive looking part, though. Yeah, it's probably like an earthquake. Scooped in cookies. Probably pretty similar. We just had an earthquake here, actually. About 3 hours ago or something. My wife said, "Did you feel an earthquake?" And I was like, "No." And she didn't either. But we're in Indiana, so we don't really expect earthquakes. But apparently some sort of magnitude 4 earthquake, seems roughly like a truck rumbling by or something. It's not really the kind of earthquake that anybody cares about, except for, it's the part of the country that doesn't normally get earthquakes. We're actually part of the, there's sort of an an arch through here where there's a lot of activity in southern Indiana and down into Tennessee, and it's farther south is where the center of that is, but do get a little bit of earthquake activity, which is weird because we're in the middle of the country. Usually the earthquakes are, you know, west coast, where the active tectonics are. She's a shy one. She doesn't want to start feeding. It's a raid. It's P-Chops. Our old friend P-Chops is here. And they brought Mind of a Snail. Hello, P-Chops. I totally don't remember what I made your thing. Is it Chops? It is Chops. Good. Good, it's good, it's good. Thank you for the raid. And I can also shout out to Mind of a Snail. I got these really cool emotes from Mind of a Snail. You should, Daddy is cute. There you go. Daddy is this strong, one? Daddy is brave, and Daddy will not stop. 9 months subscribing. We just had a baby, P-Chops. We had a diatom baby. Oh no! She's pulled out her, pulled it into first gear there. Lost me. Yeah, diatom baby, 9 months. So, I hope you know how to change the diatom baby diapers, because I never learned. We have a kid, and my wife did all of it. She's, you know, a saint. But, I have no idea how to change a diaper. So, she knows that, like, I can handle some things, but poop isn't one of them. So, gross stuff is fine, but poop is not usually. Zoom. Where do you think she's going? She's like, oh, if I come up here and hide, maybe you'll go back and look at that water bear again. Oh, I think she got stuck on something. Yeah, she's got like a trail of garbage behind her. I don't know, do you think it's a boy or a girl, P-Chops? The baby, I mean, not the rotifer. Uh-oh. Well, pull up a chair. Axio! Thank you for the follow. I don't know why you weren't following. Oh, it's a non-binary baby. Oh. Cool. Very trendy. I think diatoms are mostly non-binary anyway. Most of the time asexual, though. It could be an ace baby. Oop. To figure out what I'm gonna do when they allow me to animate the emotes. Dangling! What are you up to? Why is it you never hang out with us anymore, Dangling? You good for us? You gonna sit still for a second? Missed it. Now she's gone. Oh, here she is. I caught a little bit of your stream, P-Chops, but then thought maybe it'd be a good idea to look at some stuff in the microscope, because I haven't done that in a little while. I was playing a game and because I work nights now. Oh no! Who did that to you? Sounds terrible, Dangling. It's night now. Are you at work, Dangling? Are you doing this when you should be putting boxes in people's mail? Because I think Jeff Bezos knows. He knows what you're doing at all times. Especially if it's on Twitch. Oh, you're off right now. Okay. Terrible. Yeah, I'm not into it either. Jeff can suck it. Wow. Harsh. Bezor. He probably doesn't know. What are you doing, Mrs. Rotifer? Hmm? What are you doing? You got an itch? Is that what's going on here? Trying to scratch that part, you only got one foot and you can't get it, can't get to it? Wouldn't that be the worst? You were one of these organisms and like your back got itchy, and then you were like, I can't reach it. I only got a foot with 3 little toes. I don't bend enough to basically get around to scratch my own back. Problematic, to say the least. Hey, I didn't send out a shout out to Radio Joe was here. Oops, I need to type that in here. RM? Yeah. Anna Rebecca Music is where Radio Joe comes from. And then Hannah made us a Diatom song. Diatom's attack song. And I looked at her page on Twitch, and that thing is blowing up. I mean, it's blowing up. It's got like 60 plus views. Is it trying to eat that thing? I don't think so. Shrink, they primarily filter feed. So I don't think it's trying to eat anything. Let's move on though. See what else we can find. And you could hear the Diatom's attack song, which is great. It's got the names of diatoms in it. It talks about what an SEM is. And my name even, Diatom's Attack, shows up in the song. So how bad could it be? And she sings indie songs that I like. So I hang out there all the time. And I think you should too. Which is cool that way. Like a little personal concert that they play for you whenever they're doing it. And you don't even have to pay anything. I mean, you can pay if you'd like, but you don't have to. The music streamers are really cool. Hey, we're way over on this edge. Let's go see what's up with that water bear. I think it was over here somewhere. We had a little piece of lichen that was like somewhere in here. Oh, hello. The ciliate. It's Euploides. Where do I think that thing went? Oh, here it is. This is sort of shaped like France. That's how I knew. There we go. A water bear. Everybody's favorite. There's the song. Yeah. And it just got home and says, "What's up? What's up? We're looking at a water bear. Everybody's favorite microbe." Rosa, hello. How are you doing? Eventually, we're gonna take the song that Pack linked right there. Oh, now she goes back behind France. Oh, okay, there it is. And we're gonna make the channel video finally. Finally, I will have an introduction video that I can play, and it will have it'll feature that soundtrack. It will be great. My daughter heard it, and she was dancing to it, and she liked it. I asked her if she liked it, and she said yes. So, and kids in the lab like it too. So, popular. And it's a real crowd pleaser, to be honest. Because every time I go to Hannah's channel recently, somebody's asking for someone to play it. I think there was 4 or 5 requests just for that song, so it's hot right now. If you like really trippy stuff, you should follow Mind of a Snail and Peachops. They do music as well, and Mind of a Snail does advanced puppetry while looping music and being very interactive with chat. It's super cool, and they got those amazing emotes. And Peachops is he's got purple chickens. He's got an undersea lair, and he is trying to get people to move in to the undersea lair. He just, needs to do a little bit of fundraising. So, let's see. Tardigrades are overrated. Yeah, I agree. I feel like they are a little overrated, but because everybody knows what they are, I get a lot of "can you look at water bears" requests. And I'm inclined to say yes when people want me to look in the microscope. So I will trick them into looking at water bears, and then I will switch it to something else like a rotifer. And then they can learn about other cool things like ciliates and rotifers. And if you like other things... Oh my gosh! It's paleontologizing, and now we've got a giant raid, and we got a water bear. We timed it perfectly. We got the water bear.
Not if you can imagine it.
We got the dinosaurs. Earlier, I was streaming dinosaurs from my backyard.
Good news, everyone!
We looked at 12 different species of dinosaurs from my yard. The bird kind, yes. Yeah, the bird kind. Not the old kind, the living ones. Yeah, those ones. And then also dragonflies, which, I know you mostly work on vertebrates, but their dragonflies were pretty cool. And they're ancient as well. And I know you've talked about them a little bit on your channel before. Paleontologizing. Thank you for the raid. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna get you got your own bot command here. Some of the earliest flying insects that we have recorded, I think. Yes. And they used to be a lot bigger, which led people to believe, I think, that they thought there was like a thicker atmosphere or more oxygen, because they did some math and thought that the
Nothing is impossible.
dragonflies
Not if
had
you
to
can imagine
be,
it.
in order to be that big, they would need to have more oxygen. So, yeah, there was more oxygen during the Carboniferous. Yeah, it was one of the ideas that they came up with, and obviously there was a bunch of plants, so it makes sense that there might be a little bit more oxygen. And yeah, they were huge, like wingspans that are not human size, but solid 2-3 foot wingspan probably, right? Which is a lot bigger than modern dragonflies typically get. The one that we saw in my yard was a blue dasher, and they're a percher, and they do this thing where they
Pull up a chair.
sit on a stick, and then when insects come by that they want to capture and eat, they fly out and sort of cage them in their legs like most dragonflies, and then bring them back and perch and then munch on them. So not all dragonflies function that way.
Nothing is impossible.
But
Not if you can imagine it.
but the perchers are like that. They mostly perch, and I think that's great for my camera streams, because that gives me time to like eat lunch while I just pointed at a dragonfly. So
Nothing is impossible.
it
Not
turns
if you
out
can
that
imagine it.
the dinosaur/birds are also perchers, and they just hang out. So it's a pretty chill stream, and they sing us songs. I don't know if dinosaurs sang songs to each other. It's a question I have, because birds sing, so you'd think that dinosaurs must sing.
Good news,
But
everyone.
but did they sound like birds? Non-avian dinosaurs pretty much just hang out too. Yeah, that's true. But do you think that they sounded like birds, like chittering noises and high-pitched whistles, or what do you think they sounded like? I think it's an important question. Also, thank you for giving Astro Canuck a shout out. Astro Canuck, have you made it back to Canada yet? Super low frequency birds. I would think they sound, maybe like crows. Would it be weird if all of the dinosaurs sounded like crows and they just went caw? Or like the fish crow and they go like that would be weird. You're back on Canadian soil, so you put the Canuck in Astro Canuck finally, after all this time. This young lady that we're following around here, this water bear we're following around, she currently lives on a piece of lichen in the shape of France, or roughly the shape of France, and sometimes she likes to crawl inside of it. So apologies if she's not on camera all the time. You know how the French are. Exactly. It's nighttime for them. It's the middle of the night for them, really. It's almost morning. Let's see. Claire wants you to check your email. Oh, they all just sounded like chickadees. That would be great. Let's see, there's like a mountain chickadee in the west. And here in the East Coast, they sound like chickadee-dee-dee, chickadee-dee-dee, right? That's how they kind of got their name. But the ones in the West Coast, they sound like they're saying like, I don't know, hamburger or something? They have like a different sound. A totally different call. Cheeseburger. Cheeseburger, cheeseburger. Yeah, yeah, cheeseburger. Not hamburger, sorry. Somebody told me they sound like cheese. They say cheeseburger. I think if there's a little bird that ate cheeseburgers, that's a bird after my own heart right there. But if the dinosaurs said cheeseburger, I don't know if you could get any better than that. That's a good combination. Have you ever heard a shoebill stork clatter its bill? Oh no, those things are terrifying to me. Those shoebill storks, they look like a old-time 50s stop animation, and it creeps me out. I can't even look at those guys. I can't even look at those shoebill birds. They are so freaky. They look like claymation, and scary claymation. Like not Rudolph and what's his face? The lumberjack guy, but like scary claymation. Creeped me out. It's like a Tool video or something. See them look around and I'm thinking, it's looking at me, I think. And then I can't sleep after you watch them. You're citing some papers for them on an upcoming publication. Interesting implication for dinosaur behavior. Oh, cool. Yeah, they look like creepy puppets. That's exactly what they look like. And I think it's like, it's their eyes. Like, they have really weird eyes. Creeped me out. Not my favorite bird. If you're wondering what my favorite bird is, it's cedar waxwing. Because they're gorgeous, and they mostly eat berries, and they like to have a good time. They get drunk a lot. So, you know, we could stop messing around and zoom in on this guy. Girl. Whatever. If she would stop going into the back part here. Oh, he's out over here. It's a water bear. Everybody's favorite microbe for some reason. You might have guessed from my name though that it's not actually my favorite microbe. I like other kinds. I do like water bears though. They're cute and fun. Let's see. Slowly getting back to normal. Slowly getting your telescope set up, I hope. So, you can start streaming again. That'd be good. Do you think she ever realizes that it's just a little piece of lichen and she keeps going back and forth over top of it? Or do you think she's constantly thinking, oh, this is new. This is new. Oh, this is new. Just like everywhere she goes. You know? She hasn't realized she's been stuck on this little France-shaped piece of lichen for the last hour. We've been watching her. She's been stuck on it for an hour. We weren't on her for the whole hour. We left, and then we came back. She was still stuck on it. And we could find her because she's from France.
Hey, Maori Souri.
Bill Nash, thank you for the subscription. Hey, for people who are subscribing, I should point out that all the money that comes in from Twitch, I pay taxes on it, and then I use it to pay for student research in my lab. All of it. I don't take any of the money home. So when you subscribe or cheer or donate or whatever, you're donating directly to undergraduate and graduate student research. And didn't I add a Nash command? Where I did. How did that happen? I swear I added it already. I think last time you were here, I literally opened it up while you were here. and added it. Not sure why. It didn't, maybe I forgot. I don't think so, though. Maybe I just didn't activate it. Persistence is key, yes. Hey, OpenSet. Hi, OpenSet. Earlier, we raided OpenSet. Right after we were in the bird stream. We were looking at... Oh, I beat you! Just by a whisker. Circular raid train, excellent. Aww. Cute paleontologizing. Now you have access to all these cool diatom emotes too, and I want to tell you guys about this really cool thing. Just so you know, there's a streamer named Hannah Rebecca Music. She's new. She's been around for about a month. Look at these cool diatom emotes you get. I don't know if you get all of them, but... and she wrote a diatom song. And Pacific Plankton has the actual direct link to the song. But it's a song about this channel. And when she sings it, I just spam all the diatom emotes into her channel. And they are actually attacking. So it's a good time. You should check her out. And she gets the song requested regularly, and then I have to do all the emote spamming. So if you have the emotes and you check her out, and you do me a favor and spam all those for me, so we can fill up the whole screen with diatoms while she's singing about diatoms. I think that's great. And honestly, it's the coolest thing that's ever happened, where somebody wrote a song about me. And not like he's a jerk, but like he looks at cool stuff and here's what I learned. So we're gonna make it the theme song for the channel eventually. Plan. You might be secretly checking us out right now, but you should go listen to it. And then she also plays great songs, and she's got a great singing voice, and her partner Radio Joe is here, or he was, and he's got his arm in the screen sometimes with you know, lyrics and whatever on a computer, and sometimes he plays a little bit of the Mountain Goats along with her, so it's great. You should check her out. Check her out.
Good news, everyone.
And I don't know. What do you guys want us to do here? Should we just like I feel like we've been watching her for a little too long, and just it's the same thing. She pokes her head out and crawls around the edge, and then I also have this sample from my koi pond that I collected right before, and we could look at some of that. So the song is great. Yeah. This is my husband, the arm. Exactly.
Well, pull up a
I mean,
chair.
who does that? Who writes a song about somebody? And like a science song too. It's super cool. I have been referred to as Thing. Oh right, like the guy with the arm in the box from the Addams Family, right? That thing. Except for sometimes he comes on and sings and plays guitar, and it would be great though if you had like a Halloween costume that was just like a box that you reached your arm out of, and you know, like that was your whole costume. So when Halloween comes around, you could be on this screen, but like have your laptop and be running stuff from inside the box, and then just reach out, you know? Reach out of the box. Yeah, exactly. She's broken free from France, sort of. And she's mostly out. Let's go look. Don't go hiding. Wait for us to get you in focus. There we go. And there's like a ciliate tormenting her, swimming around. That's a water bear. Water bears have 8 legs. Most of them have a little sort of newt on the front of their face, like a trunk for an elephant. And their back 2 legs are mostly used for grasping things and like hanging on. And they look a little bit like scallop legs or something. You know, like they're tied together. And their front 6 legs are used for like exploration. And they can have eyes, but not all of them have eyes. Uh-oh, she's back on France. I thought we were going to break free from France, but there we go. So a lot of people know about like all the crazy things that water bears can tolerate, but since paleontologizing is here, or was here, or raided us, oh, he's still here, the water bears lived through all 5 of the geological extinction events. So the things that killed off the dinosaurs did not kill off the water bears. Things that killed off like 96% of what was living in the ocean, you know, through the prior extinctions, didn't kill off the water bears. Yeah, can't get rid of the water bears, right? And they're like the honey badger of the microscopic world. They don't care about your extinction at all. Doesn't bother them, and they're sorry to hear about it, but they don't care. You know, go on with themselves, basically. Thank you for the raid, though, paleontologist, and you're always super kind. You bring your giant community into my tiny little stream, and then we look at tiny little things. Hopefully in an entertaining way. Let's see about making a slide. And this we'll let this French water bear lady go. I'm gonna put her back into the lichen pile that I pulled her from. Then when I'll let her dry out, water bears are the best because like we can look at them, and then I can just put them back in the yard where I got them from. I got this one off of a stick, so it'll be fine if I just put it back in the yard.
Good news, everyone.
Not gonna bother it at all. And this is a sample from. It comes from my koi pond. So it's right outside the. There's a window over there. It's just right outside the window. And if you watch my bird streams, it's the one where the birds are always going in and out of the fountain for. Not sure about the way they prepared this sample, though. Help. Let's see. This sample that we're looking at didn't have a cover slip on it, so things could escape. And also so I could put it back into the lichen pile without killing off our water bears, provided we find them. I'm a little more cavalier about killing things that come from my koi pond. Most of them will just clone themselves anyway, so not a big deal. For me, probably slightly bigger deal for them, but let's see what we can find. Oh. So, these little things that aren't moving but are shaped like little green insects in here. Those are, that's Cenedesmus. It's a type of green algae. You have to go. Okay, that's cool. Thanks for hanging out. That's what I have to say about that. We're gonna look at some cool stuff, and you might miss some of it, but we'll see it again sometime, right? So, this thing here with the horns coming off of it, this thing, Cenedesmus, Little horns are actually, they are hollow. They've got some gas in them and allows this thing to float. So it stays at the top of the water column. And each of these is an individual cell. They live in a colony. And these things do well when waters are heavily polluted with nutrients. And it turns out that the fish in my koi pond are living in nutrient-rich water because I feed them. And then they occasionally defecate in the water. This little guy right here, it looks like the letter Y, is a diatom. Actually, two diatoms. This is Gomphanema. This is the genus Gomphanema. And they live on these stalks. And at the base of this, the organism, so they have a siliceous skeleton, like all diatoms, and two valves, like all diatoms. And we look at these things in the scanning electron microscope, they're a lot more clear. But we're at really low magnification. I can improve our magnification. Give me a second. Because there's a cover slip. At least I think I can. Oh yeah. Sorry, there's a bit of a light issue I need to adjust for. With the camera. Too bright. There we go. You can actually even see some of the features. You can see that they have two valves. Each one of these is one cell, so that's a single-celled organism with two valves. That's the bright bands around the outside are the silica skeletons. And then they've got chloroplasts and stuff on the inside. They look kind of reddish now because there's a lot of light refracting around in there, but that's the chloroplast right there. And then this is the skeleton. And then they have EPS, polysaccharides, that they squeeze out of the bottom of themselves to make these stalks that they live on. So they're stalked organisms. Looks pretty psychedelic. Looking through all the silica. So, aim to get back to EST sleep schedule, so you're off early tonight. Have a great stream. Thank you, Astro Canuck. And we look forward to seeing what you come up with when you're back in the home country. And we can look at there's a little swimmer. Let's see. Zoom out and see things. Just a little too zoomed in. There we go. That little guy, it's just pretty. Super tiny, but pretty. Another little super tiny ciliate right there. I think that's a nanoflagellate. Let's go take a look around in here. See what we can find. Those things are really small. There's another little Gomphanema. A whole bunch of Gomphanema. There's another one. See what we can find. That's the cover slip. Outside of there be dragons. Don't want to go that way. Let's see. So I have some good news. If you're a follower of the stream, we've been searching for views of something that we called the Gompho monster. which is a diatom that's super big that we've been looking through material from Idaho for. And we knew it was in the sample, but we were having trouble getting SEM views of it that we wanted. And so for months now, we've been searching for this thing, a little bit at a time, not like a whole month digging around looking for it. And I finally got internal views of both of the organisms that we were looking at today. I didn't stream that SEM session, but I was on the SEM. And so I'm super excited because that means we'll probably describe it, both of them, as new species. And if you're curious, we discovered it on Twitch, and we're going to describe it from Twitch, so that's kind of cool. But we saw a rotifer earlier. This one's a little bit... it's like tied on to this piece of green algae, but it's got its corona open. So maybe if it stays there, if she stays where we are, we can get some good views on this rotifer. Seems to be stuck, so hopefully that means that hopefully that means she'll stay with us. So I'm going to be on a really long road trip soon. Can I pick up samples from different places and send them over? Yes. That would be great. Uh-oh. She's detached herself, and now she's swimming. Kind of. Oh, she's on some sort of like stretchy cord. Can't get far. You can see that they use their cilia right there. She's using them to propel herself. So not just to feed, but also to move. Like a twin jet airplane or twin propeller airplane. She just pulls out the propellers and then zooms off like that, leaving us with nothing. Rude. Let's see what else we can find. That same Gomphanema. There's a diatom crawling around. People don't usually think diatoms can crawl because they're an algae, but she's actually moving around right there. Work on the brightness. Stuck on a Senodesmus. Did you see the news that they found rotifers in a glacier woke up after how many millennia? Yeah, it was like 24,000 years since the last ice age when that rotifer came back. They can dry out and then they can just sort of live like that for a really long time. Yeah, exactly. That's what worries you about melting the permafrost? There was a whole X-File movies like that, Bill Nash. Exactly like that. Where they, the oily stuff got into their eyes. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Busy little ciliate. Hello. It's like a salt shaker shape. Shaped like a salt shaker with hairs around both ends. Oh, that's not a rotifer. I don't think that's a rotifer. I think that's a ciliate. Right there. Oh, the deltoid rotifer, yeah. Yeah, the deltoid rotifers are the ones that can handle desiccation, so I'm not surprised by that. And we were talking about them a little bit earlier, about they're only female ones. Oh, hello. Looks like she went right here, or maybe that's a different one. Let's see. See if we can zoom out. I will swap us up one level. So we're at the real magnification. And then switch this. And brighten it a bit. So she's not going to take off. A little too much water in there. Sample's kind of sloppy. Allowing her to move around kind of a lot. You can see some of the diatoms that are actually in their life position. So they're growing on those stalks that are right there at the base of where the rotifer is attached. There's the rotifer. If we get her to stop swinging around, she's very three-dimensional right now. Kind of like making it hard for me to keep her in focus. Zoom back out. Okay. Let's go looking around. This is Cladophora. It's just a green algae that sort of a weed grows in my pond. On the side, the goldfish eat it. Oh, hello. That's a chironomid. It looks like a worm, but pretty sure that's a chironomid. The long one. Holy moly. Haven't slept since. A long time to go without sleep. There's also a nematode worm in there, mixed in with this thing. I'm pretty sure that's a chironomid. Very chironomid looking to me, anyway. Open set. It is huge. There's a little rotifer, little tiny rotifer, and it looks like the chironomid is eating stuff, which could be bad for these rotifers. You can see it's got eyes, the little black eye spots, which I think is, it's definitely eating. let's see what it looks like when we zoom in. So if I want to take samples from tree, moss, or ponds, what should you acquire? You know, really any sort of mud or surface material from a pond is fine. Rocks with sort of like a brown or gold colored stuff growing on them will have diatoms in them, but anything that you collect, you know, the problem is it's going to start stinking depending on how long your trip is. So you might want to keep it in a cooler. Yeah, probably just a cooler. We'll keep it cold so it doesn't start to stink. It's gonna be the key. And then you can just mail them, you know, to my school address I can send you. Depending on what you're collecting. So, you've got a fridge. Yeah, or if you're coming through Terre Haute, you can just drop them off. You know, I don't know where you're driving from or to. Coming down 70. Yeah, it's right off of 70 in the US.
Good news, everyone.
Thank you for all the follows, by the way. There were a ton that came in with Paleontologizing's raid. And we got some follows also from P-Chop's raid. I want to thank you. Really appreciate people coming in to check out the channel and then sticking around. I don't just stream stuff from the microscope. As I mentioned, I also look at birds, the moon, anything I can put on my camera. So I'll probably do some macro photography streams relatively soon. We've had streams where we looked at cicadas on the stereo microscope. And also I went for like a little real life walk through the Brood X area of St. Mary of the Woods campus. So these little tiny ciliates growing on a stalk here. It's Epistylus, I think. It's got a little cilia. You can see the ciliated portion right here. They're spinning the little cilia, twirling them around, really. And then you can see there's like a stream of particles moving away from it because they create like convection. Yeah, a little cone on a string, that's it. And it looks like... I think that's the... I think that was the butt. I think that was the butt of the... chironomid right there that keeps poking itself into the field of view. So that little cone-shaped things right there, those are Epistylus, I think. Just like it sounds. Epi on top of stylus, like a pen. And I think that's what they are. Sometimes they become detached from the little strings that they're on and then they go flying. They use their little cilia to pull themselves around. Very pretty. That's the chironomid's butt we kept seeing. There's also there's a nematode worm in here. Clambering around. Right there's the nematode. And it's like they're both together on the screen here. It's pretty cool. You can't see it, but my battery light is flashing, so it may go dark for a little bit. Here's another rotifer that showed up to the party. And like the other one, they just don't want to sit on the plane where we're looking. And moving around a lot. A lot of times they'll sit still for me, but not tonight. I guess it was too much to ask for everything that I look at to perch. Sit there. Sort of skirting around the edges because I can't really see very well into the middle here. There's a whole bunch of these little Epistylus living together. Yeah. I could use a dummy battery. That's an okay way to do things. Then I could just plug it in. I have a cable that plugs in that does the USB-C or whatever. I can use for power, but it's also fine just to have the battery, to be honest. I have a bunch of them, and I can stream for like 2 hours before I start to worry about it, usually. So, plus it adds a little bit of excitement for people because they never know when the camera will just disappear. Oh, there's a rotifer that's like behaving. We can see it. Yeah, it's a lot better when you don't have to fight it. All of the height. It's at one plane. Then you can really see the corona right there. They just look like they're rotating. They're doing like this. Just kind of going up and down. It makes them look like they're spinning. Yeah, flagellates. They're doing the wave. That's where they get their name from, though. They're rotifer. Because people thought they were spinning. Yeah, they move a lot of material, actually. They create a pretty strong current. That pulls, in some cases, Senodesmus into their face. I don't know if it ate that, or I think it just went behind it, but it could also be stuck in its mouth. Do you think his friends get mad? Nom 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 nom. I don't know. He seems pretty happy. I don't think he cares about what his friends, or she, seems pretty happy. I don't think she cares. Like, look at that belly. That is a belly full of algae right there. There's also these cool diatoms right next to him. So, yeah, sometimes I forget to chew. Happens to me. Happens to the best of us. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Can we get up to 40 before the rotifer decides it wants to be on a different plane? Find out. It didn't like me changing the objectives, by the way. That's what it was doing. A little bit upset about that. It also did not like me switching the filter. That's okay, because now we actually are in true resolution. This is not my camera's magnifying the image. That's the lens magnifying the image. And so we'll have a little bit better quality. Especially if she opens up and starts feeding again. There we go. Now we could zoom in. And now we're at ridiculously high quality for that field of view. You can see she's got these two spinning things on the side right here, which are the corona. And then that part that's inside of the body right there is the mastax. And we were joking about chewing, but that's actually how she chews. So her mouth is right here in between the two spinners. If it makes it into the mouth, then basically it goes into the jaws. Yeah, it's a buffet line, exactly. You can see those cilia really well, that they're on the corona. And those actually just, they completely fold out from their head. And when they're not feeding, they tuck back inside the head. So, and you can really see that materials that can get pulled towards her mouth as a result of that. So she's very well fed. That's her belly. You can see she's got all kinds of food in there. Some of it looks like it's still moving. And it could be because she's got a big enough body to digest those cenedesmus, which are everywhere. One of those gets in, then it's going to get eaten. Get a nice clean view of that. And let me play with the optics just a little bit and see what I can do about touching that image up. Some food got stuck in there a little. Let's see, if I do this, that'll brighten it for us a little. Then I can do this, put this back on. There, give us a little bit more depth. I'm gonna play with the controls so we can get more of it in focus at once and also have the brightness that we need. Microscopes sometimes take a while to... You can see she pulled in her head all the way there. Pulled it right back out. It take a little while to get, used to... It's like a camera. It takes a while to get used to what you need to do to get the settings the way you need them. For imaging. Yeah, it's pretty small focal depth, Bill. Yeah, it's not nanometers, it's microns. But the bar's also wrong. We are at 400 times magnification, right? Yeah. So that's our scale bar. There you go. Now we're at the right scale. Just tucked her head in and she just pulled it back out for a second there. Here, there you can see that's her mouth sticking out right there at the bottom. That's a bit of her mouth. And then there's another sort of, so that's the mouth right there. And those are the spinners. You see she pulled the mouth in and then pulled the spinners out. There's the mouth right there. And the spinners come out on the sides of it. The corona. They're sort of tucked in right here and right here. Oh! Hello, Coronamid! Don't mind us. There, you see she pulled it in and then pulled those out, and then the sort of mastax starts moving when she does that. So it's like a way for her to funnel the food right into her mouth. But at 40x, you probably have 10 microns, something like that. It's a little bit better. I moved it up to 1,000 times magnification. It's like about 1 micron. So you'd get kicked out of Taco Bell if you tried that. Put some giant fans on your head. Just put them in reverse, and see if you could get the tacos to go into your mouth. Good. A great idea. Taco idea. Hey, we're 6 followers away from 2,100. If you're a fan of what you see here, and I'm not busy screwing up, it would behoove you to follow Pacific Plankton. You can find her at this link right here.
Good news, everyone.
And so if you follow me, then you should go follow her twice, because she's trying to catch up to me in followers, and I keep trying to push people to go follow her, but you know, it's usually the people who are already following me. So I'm not saying unfollow me, don't do that, but unless you want to, of course. But go follow Pacific Plankton. Her streams are like this, but dark field a lot of times, and she looks at creatures from salty water most of the time, although she's creeping into my territory a little. You follow both? Good. And Pacific Plankton also will commonly run the channel here when I'm streaming, and then I do the same thing for her as moderators, but I stream a lot more than she does, so a lot more work for her. I had to pay for it by the fact that she streams late at night. Yeah, first we were friends and then we were mod friends. Oop. Not tonight. We're not friends anymore? Too tired and have too much work. And that's what happens when you take that diatom class. You're gonna get good at diatoms, you gotta put in the work. Because it's a lot of work. Is it? What time is it? 11:30. Diatom school is amazing. I liked it when I took it. I mean, I had different teachers, but... Oh, look. There's another rotifer right here, and it's like twice as big as the one we were looking at. Hello. Just took off anyway. Alright, let's zoom back out. Get to a reasonable size. There's a rotifer. I want this one. And this. There we go. There's a rotifer up there. Zoom. Also, if you like, you can just stream again and continue circular raid train. That's perfect. You have material ready to go, open set? You want to read some poetry at us? Or did you take some more samples you haven't looked at yet? You know, normally on a Thursday night, I would raid Pacific Plankton. So, it'll be more of a challenge for me without her here to capture the overflow. Alright. Have sweet dreams. Dream of a raphid. No, asymmetric biraphids. The gomphonemas, like the ones that we're looking at right here. There you go. You can dream of these guys. Those are gomphonemas. Right there. All these ones right here. Gomphonema. Let's see what else we can find. Oh, look, there's a whole colony of these Epistylus out here. We didn't even look at half the slide yet. It goes on forever. Most of it is just Synodesmus out here, though. Out here. No man's land. It's outside of the boundary of the known world. You want to fire those crystals up, just let me know, open set. I can rage twice in one day. Although, only if you get it lined up in the next 4 minutes. Get to bed early. Wow. You can see the little cilia are on the outside that this thing is whirling around. Stretched taut on that string. I haven't figured out what this thing is yet. It's like a little oval shape. Looks like a Pringle chip, but it's not a diatom. That's striations running down the length of it. Bet we could figure that one out if I had a little bit of time to look it up. Some sort of ciliate, based on its movement. You're enjoying this? Oh, well, good. I'm
Good news, everyone.
always happy to share a little bit from the microscope. And, especially
Well, pull up a chair.
when stuff doesn't make me chase it around. It's rotiferring, exactly. Doing its thing. I'm just happy it's not sort of, you know, moving around in 3D. Yeah, it's like a toothbrush. Actually, toothbrush is a good example of kind of what it is. 2 streams in 1 day, yes, Sam. You know, I thought about sneaking out and doing a moon stream tonight as well. But I
Good news, everyone.
think the moon is pretty low over here by this point. I think we only got about an hour of the moon left. So, probably won't work. Just finished imaging the moon? Excellent. It's 2 different streams, so at least there's that. You know, we did birds and dragonflies and chipmunks and bunnies and whatever earlier today. Got the microscopic world. Did a little bit of water bears and some rotifers from a dry sample that we hydrated. Birds and bugs, yeah. And stuff from my koi pond here. This is a rotifer as well. Yeah, I could have tied them all together and had the microscopic, the mid-range stuff, and then astro stuff.
Nothing is impossible. Not if you can imagine it.
The problem is, to do it in any way that would make sense, I would have to use my microscope early in the morning, and then, you know, work my way up. Maybe if I did an SEM stream, and then a microscope stream, and then a bird stream, and then a moon stream. Maybe 4 stream. A lot. Who's a lot for me, really. But had a good day. Had a couple of great raids. Chops raid and paleontologizing brought his people in. Nice. And we got a subscription from Bill Nash, and also paleontologizing resubscribed. That was cool. Chops resubscribed. Let's see. What do we got? A follower, Axio, Happy Mollusk, Webmeister, Polstergeist, Velky Studios, Spagnoducci, Durkle, Pirouette, Prince Anime, Hello Sanders, Logan Roku, Jaffreffel, Ophades, Spicy Chicken Sammy. Sounds like a good Sammy, to be honest. So Fluff, Little Beef Spice. You don't want to put too much spice on your little beef. Lazy June, Bob the Blender, Xeno on TV, TTV, Memento Annette, and now Nerf Dermer. Thank you guys for the follows. It's a lot. And actually that last follow just bumped us up to 2,100 followers. So, a lot of followers. A lot of people that tune in to watch my tiny little stream from the SEM or the light microscope. Sprung a leak. Oh, I think that's stuff that's just passing through. This thing that's sticking up in the air right there is the antenna. I think it's the antenna right here. It's using it to sort of detect stuff. It's its sensor, like a nose. Not enough followers, to be honest. We need those partner numbers now for animated diatom emotes. I'm afraid I'm a long ways from partner numbers. I think my average is something like 24, 25 viewers per stream. My streams are pretty small. So, I mean, that's still good numbers. I won't complain about that, but... don't usually get the big numbers like a partner would need. You usually have a bunch of people in their open set. You probably could make partner. Need to stream a little bit more regularly. Next school year. Maybe if we all make a second alternate. Oh, don't do that. I want real people in here. Not ghosty people. That's a worm. Another little worm sniffing around in here too. No, the battery's empty.
Good news, everyone.
Give me a second. There you go. Oh, why? Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. This music reminds you of Danger's music. The music is from Pretzel Rock, so I don't get in trouble and have them mute my stream. Not that I'm saying anything exciting anyway, but yeah. Moving on by abstraction. Playing. I heard something earlier. I thought it sounded like music from the Portal game. Which, you know, if I could... I think I can play that, right? So... maybe I should just play the Portal soundtrack one night. All Portal. It'll be alright. I like that Portal soundtrack a lot. Yeah. If you, hey, if you like microscope streaming, got this big list of people who do microscope streaming, and I try to add to it as we get more. So it's a little overwhelming, but everybody there does stuff a little bit differently. So Spider AD focuses mostly on spiders, for example, and OpenSet plays music while he streams on a microscope, and Protozoa Princess puts stuff on the microscope and then paints it, as an example. Good variety of things associated with it. Off to bed. Okay. Grady Joe. We'll catch you probably next time Hannah streams. See ya. Not sure when that is, but looking forward to it. Thanks for hanging out. Solarmander, you're sorry to ask this tons of times, but why does it appear that we can see through them? Because they are transparent. And the light microscope, well, they're translucent anyway. The light microscope has a light at the bottom, and then it shines it through the stage into your eye. So it necessarily, if we see something, we're seeing through it. But things that are translucent, we see through even better. So this little chironomid, it is translucent. That's why. Lots of things that are small like this don't need color. And many of the things that do have color, they're chloroplasts. They're using it for making their own food. I suspect part of the reason why many of the things in the aquatic realm like this are translucent is because it allows them to hide from predators a little bit better. They did a bunch of studies on copepods, for example, in lake systems, and some copepods that live in lake systems where there are fish are basically translucent. And when there aren't fish, they usually have like a red-colored pigment that they make to protect them from UV radiation. And a combination of things is kind of interesting because they will, if you add fish to a lake that has the red pigmented copepods, they will stop making the pigments, basically, after a couple generations. So they actually adjust to the environment that they're in. And lots of these little guys are food for things like, fish, that small fish basically will eat them. And so having color is usually dangerous for small organisms because many of the fish are visual predators. And if they see you, they will come eat you. So that's a good reason for it to not have color. And also there's generally not as much of a penalty for not having color because a lot of the microscopic organisms also don't have eyes. So if you don't have eyes, color isn't really super critical for finding mates or recognizing, food or any of those things that become critical for them. So, like, from a fundamental level, why have color, right? Why have color at all if you don't have eyes, and it just creates problems for you, and it makes you more likely to be eaten. Most organisms that are in this realm probably would be adapted to to becoming translucent. So the organisms that do have color, like these diatoms, for example, when they're living, have sort of a brownish color, brownish gold color, or these cenodesmus that have a green color. They replicate very quickly, so there's no penalty to it, and the color for them is actually really critical because it absorbs specific waves of light that they use to make food. Because they're dominantly, if they've got color like greens and browns in here, they're most likely to be autotrophic. Earthworms don't benefit from having color either. Probably not. Earthworms' color, I think, is a byproduct of the fact that they have hemoglobin. Because, like, we have hemoglobin, but I'm not positive about that. A lot of the things that are red, like bright red colors, usually they have some sort of hemoglobin-like pigments that they use because it allows them to carry oxygen into places they normally wouldn't. And so there's things called bloodworms that you sometimes find in sediments in lake systems that are anoxic. And they have hemoglobin, and there's a bunch of fish that have a red color that use it to go into places where their environment is anoxic or hypoxic, so low oxygen or no oxygen temporarily. And all of those red colored organisms are probably a result of using iron to make the potential to carry oxygen. I don't know if that's the case for earthworms, but also earthworms are largely underground, and so the red color isn't as problematic for them. They're not exposed to, predators that would need to see them. I think most of their predators are things like moles that smell them, or robins and birds that eat worms, basically. When it's raining, and that's catastrophic for the worms anyways. So for most organisms, there's some sort of combination or trade-off of adaptations that allows them to sort of be adjusted to the environment that they're in. And some of those trade-offs are tied directly with like things that feed on them, and some of them are tied more directly towards things that are just like integrated into the environment that they're in. So here I'd say most of the things are clear because it's a penalty for having color, and there's no benefit for having it for a lot of them. Like ciliates, they don't care what color they are, they don't have eyes. So what's the benefit of having color? What we have here is a sort of this sort of rainbow colored organism that we're looking at, this ciliate, this epistylus, is actually a little bit deceptive because there's a lot of refraction going on from my camera and the lenses that we're using that create interference patterns for those colors that you're seeing. Yeah, there's one cenodesmus there that's caught in the vortex of this, either a vorticella or an epistylus, I'm not sure which. It's just spinning around forever, as long as this thing's got its ciliate going. Pretty crazy. Yeah. Stuck in a whirlpool. They see me rolling, they hating. A good one. Too big to go in its mouth and too small to escape, and it doesn't have any way of moving around. The cenodesmus have gas vacuoles that they push into those little horns that come off of their body, and it allows them to float to the surface, but not super helpful when you're in a microscope slide. It's yanked itself back in. string. Kind of pulling itself in to avoid predators and things. It escaped finally. Yeah, all the annelids are pretty closely related. So these worms that we see, the nematode worms, flatworms, leeches, and nidid worms, I think they all belong to annelid. Oh. The chironomid that we saw is actually an insect larva, but it looks like a worm when it's in its larval stage. But it's, I like to inspire people to go looking through literature and see what they can find. Diatom, creeping in. It's actually on this cover slip below it. It's like on a different plane here. Diatom though, crawling around. It wasn't being sucked in, it was crawling. And we find a bunch of cool stuff on streams sometimes that causes me to go looking through the literature to see what I can find about stuff. So, just sort of guessing on earthworms, but I think that they match the other things that have red color. That's not everything, but cardinals don't have the red color for that. Got a lot more visual connection. Okay, it's midnight here, and I probably should find someone to raid as a result. And I think I have a good target, which is Constababble. Let's see what she's doing first before I send you there. Normally she does a lot of talking about science, and she's in just chatting. I think she's playing a game. Go raid Rhino Lion. They're doing some pottery, and they raided me the other day, and reciprocate. Take us outside of science and technology. You'll enjoy it. All right. He always raids Pacific Plankton and I, so brings his followers in, so that's pretty cool. And we have a pretty big crowd, so it's nice to be able to take you guys somewhere. And I feel like you'll enjoy what you see on Rhino Lion stream. There's some really cool pottery. He's got his potter's wheel going right now. And it looks like he's working on bowls or cups or something. So we'll send you off to do that. And I don't know when I'll stream again. If there's not a thunderstorm, it might not be again until Monday. We'll see. Or I might do a little bird stream sometime over the weekend. But until then, we'll see you around. Thanks for all the follows and the raids. And this has been a lot of fun. Okay, let's go.